I believe that world is improving and so is this business, this profession. That's where Magnet started. The whole premise of our business is that, it's all about consumers. You have to make it such a great journey for them. We all have done it, right? We have bought our apartments because we could see the opportunity.
Get that.
We had given so many years to build it in a way, and we knew that we are doing few things right. And the dots were getting connected for us.
Right.
So one day I want to take your interview.
I would love to give it. I would love to give it.
So as we progress, we would like them to understand that they can also become Homesfy.
Sleepless Rangers के अभी तक के सारे एपिसोडों में हमने बहुत सारी चर्चा की है ब्रोकिंग इंडस्ट्री को लेकर, पर हमें जो कमेंट्स आए और जो फीडबैक आया उसमें ये चीज समझ में आया कि काफी लोगों को समझना है कि ब्रोकिंग इंडस्ट्री को ज्वाइन कैसे करें, और इस बिजनेस में अगर आ गए तो 1 से 10 लोगों की टीम तो बन जाती है, पर उस बिजनेस को स्केल कैसे करें। आज का जो हमारा एपिसोड है वो इन्हीं सारी चीजों के ऊपर है और इसकी डिटेलिंग में जाता है। हाउ डू यू मार्केट योरसेल्फ, हाउ डू यू क्रिएट अ ब्रांड, हाउ डू यू डू द लीड जेन एंड हाउ डू यू क्रिएट अ स्केलेबल बिजनेस। क्योंकि आशीष कुकरेजा जो आज के हमारे गेस्ट हैं होम्सफाई से, उन्होंने बनाई एक ऐसी कंपनी जिसको उन्होंने लिस्टिंग भी की हुई है पब्लिकली। दैट्स व्हाई ही इज नोन एज द IPO मैन ऑफ दिस इंडस्ट्री। सो लेट्स वेलकम आशीष कुकरेजा फ्रॉम होम्सफाई।
Hey Ashish, welcome to Sleepless Rangers. I'm so glad. We have been chasing you for a very, very long time, but I guess you're busy in your IPO. And many congratulations for your IPO. And welcome to the Sleepless Rangers.
Thanks for having me, Govind, and I really apologize for the delay.
You don't have to apologize.
I was trying to be here actually.
No, yeah, absolutely. We do understand, and I've got a lot many questions. आपसे बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन आज मैं पूछूंगा, क्योंकि यार हम लोग की फील्ड में रियल एस्टेट डेवलपर्स ने IPO किया है, बहुत सारे लोगों ने किया है, बट समवन इन दिस सेक्टर, दिस कैटेगरी, दे आर डूइंग एन IPO. इट्स अ बिग थिंग एंड आई वांट टू नो, आई बिलीव हमारे जो ऑडियंस है, हमारे जो व्यूअर्स हैं, उनको भी काफी सारे क्वेश्चंस होंगे कि आपने कैसे किया, क्यों किया. बट बिफोर दैट लेट मी आस्क यू द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, जो हमारे सेगमेंट में सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन होता है, यार आपने ये जर्नी की शुरुआत कैसे की, एंड अमंग ऑल द थिंग्स, why real estate, and in real estate, why you're doing what you're doing with Homesfy.
I'll not have a standard answer for you कि मैं घर से निकला और ये प्रॉब्लम थी, मैं घर ढूंढ नहीं पा रहा था. ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ मेरे साथ. I come from financial services background and started on my own. I'm not going to take too much time on my background. I've worked with financial services companies, Kotak, and started on my own 2011. Peak था global meltdown का, financial products लोग नहीं ले रहे थे, और gold or real estate, and if you can go back, that was a cycle when real estate was doing really well in these cities, right? And proptech and all these have just come up, and the whole thing was getting little structured, I would say.
Absolutely.
So some of our consumers started asking कि you're doing good work for us, यहाँ पे घर दिला सकते हैं क्या? I remember without taking too much time, we were doing wealth management and financial services business in tier 2, tier 3 towns. We knew that tier 1 towns में हम कभी भी Kotaks और cities के साथ compete नहीं कर पाएंगे, and they will not go and travel 7 hours to Sanglis, Kolhapurs, and me and my co-founder, we used to go to these cities and meet HNIs to get their financial services thing. So वहाँ पे I still remember a Sangli consumer asking कि घाटकोपर में वादवा का project चल रहा था कि can you help us buy that project? And I said, why not? If I don't service you, somebody else will service you. So I will definitely do it. That's how it started for us. And then one thing led to another. फिर जब हम कर रहे थे तो बहुत सारा common sense missing था. We could see कि यार इतना simple चीजें इतनी complex क्यों कर रहे हैं लोग, and which worked well. Just 4-5 of us standing on a project, and we were able to transact 30-40 odd units because we did some common sense stuff right.
Okay.
And I think from there it just took off for us.
And what you could you just elaborate a little कि common sense जो आप बोल रहे हो वो क्या basic चीजें थी जो missing थी जिसको आपने देखा as a need gap?
So we all used to talk about it, that information is not reaching right to the consumer, and they are not being addressed properly. It's such a, we all know it. I'll not sort of be a broken record saying this कि इतना बड़ा decision, you need a hand holding, and I still believe it. And the whole premise of our business is that, it's all about consumers. You have to make it such a great journey for them. We all have done it, right? We have bought our apartments. So उस पूरे period में जो उसको एक shoulder चाहिए, that was the base, that common sense का base. So I remember, I always give this example. I remember, missed call alerts आए थे तब, I remember I'm missing the name of the company, a startup based out of, got acquired by Twitter, which started this business, and we said that, let's give this number to the consumers.
Okay.
And any time of the day they want any question to be answered, they have to just give a missed call to us.
Got it.
So I said common sense stuff, right? So even at that point of time, we started putting money in CRM when we didn't have money to probably rent office, because the whole idea was that if we really want to be aligned with the journey, we can't do it through Excel.
Absolutely.
So so I think I can go on and on. So these were the common sense stuff of 2013.
No, lovely. So now I'm going to ask you the most important question. I believe one of the important things that you have done, and I believe history will remember you for doing something which nobody thought about doing, and debuting with an IPO for a company which is been into the real estate transaction space. There are companies which have dreamt about it, but you went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
So the series of question जो मेरे दिमाग में है वो पहला कि यार किया क्यों? अगर किया तो ये क्यों किया? कुछ और भी तो कर सकते थे, पैसे ही तो उठाने थे.
Right.
और तीसरा ये कि how do you feel now? Right?
Okay.
You are the number one person who managed it, right? And IPO successfully debut किया.
Yeah.
And उसके बाद जो भी जर्नी है वो कैसी रही? तो ये तीन questions if you could just answer.
Sure. I'll try to follow the sequence as much I can. See, हर business का dream होता है.
Yeah.
And then, but I mean it. Most of the world thinks that that's the finish line.
Yeah.
We just wanted a day zero again in our lives.
Got it.
So that's as, I don't know how much you understand or connect with this.
मेरा तो day zero मेरा एक बार मैंने जब कोशिश किया तो debt ले लिया, right? And that became my day zero, and then things changed for me for good.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
So day zero, to get the day zero back, because we could see the opportunity.
Get that.
We had given so many years to build it in a way, and we knew that we are doing few things right, and the dots were getting connected for us,
right?
And we knew that we are sitting, on a massive opportunity, and let's try to empower ourselves with that.
Lovely.
So that's the basic premise of it, right?
Got it.
And I think at the same time, as a business, as an organization, our DNA is to institutionalize our business. We always, not today, but for many years, internally we keep talking to each other, that this should be beyond us. Whatever we are building, we all come from a very similar backgrounds.
Right.
I don't know, we don't really connect with the luxury life.
Yeah.
We all believe that, we worked hard. Now it's time that, we institutionalize it. So we thought that probably IPO is one way to fast forward that journey, but we are too small for IPO, such a big word. But I still believe that, this pushed us that we should go about it. And probably, I think probably if I can pick from your question, in our case, paisa uthana nahi tha. It was to probably make sure that we are able to, we should not be raising another money after probably
for a while.
This is enough for us to probably see to it that we are able to execute what we know.
Yeah.
And then let's see how it connects, ahead.
तो कितना मतलब 1.5 year to 2 years का fund raise होना चाहिए कि कम ना पड़े पैसा इतना?
Yeah, so actually yes, if I have to probably give you a perspective, I think if you put your plans right, I think that's the right right amount of time. You said 2 years maybe.
Got it. So now my questions are, मैंने question बोला कि आपने IPO किया, fund raise किया. A lot of startups have gone about raising money from the VC world. You chose a different path.
Yeah.
Now, the money that you are raising, why are you raising? What are the things that you're raising it for?
Yeah.
Where you are allocating it? If you could just give a little bit of insight कि इस पैसे का आप करने क्या वाले थे, क्या जरूरत थी? क्योंकि it's a cash flow business, invariably slowly gradually you could have done. But ऐसा क्या आपको करना था अलग जिसकी वजह से you felt कि यार market में आते हैं. One layer I understood that you wanted to create a standard for the way you are operating and the scalability और जो आपके जो tangibility और hygiene set करने हैं. I understand that. But purely from the money point of view.
अगर आप पूरे value chain में जाए तो we knew that we are always about transactions. You know, we have to, and you know, for last couple of years there's few measurements, you know, we live by every day. And those measurements are about how much are we close to consumers' requirement, how productive are our people, and you know, so the health of business is a function of these measurements, I would say. So once we got them right, we knew that we need to invest further in those measurements.
Got it.
So when it comes to increasing the productivity and efficiency of people, when it comes to making sure that we are more close to consumer in terms of what services we can provide it. So if I connect those points, so we had to invest in people, we had to invest in technology, we had to invest in expansion, you know, to test waters.
And to go to different cities as well.
Cities, yeah. So if I have to probably give you one answer, that it's a function of we expanding into new locations, taking franchise outside our comfort zones, you know, and enabling and empowering our agents, our internal advisors through our technology investments.
Got it.
So I think that's the long and short of it, I would say.
Super. So IPO के ऊपर एक दो और questions हैं, थोड़ा बाद में आते हैं उस पे, but उससे पहले now I'm going to talk about one of the products that you have, जिसका नाम है Magnet.
Sure.
So to all the viewers, Magnet as a platform, what I have studied, you can please correct me, is trying to aggregate most of the brokers who are operating into this segment. And they're asking them to collaborate with them wherever they are trying to create a journey for the transaction journey for the customers. जहाँ पे भी उनको लगता है कि उनको कोई कमी पड़ रही है, उनका presence नहीं है या उनको कोई भी help चाहिए, तो वो Magnet as a platform पे आके they can collaborate with you and you guys can jointly do the closure with them. Am I right there?
That's right.
Okay. So now the question that I had here is a little different, since Tanuj had come onto this forum and Tanuj from Square Yards. I couldn't get to discuss this particular aspect with it, but we broadly touched the whole parameter. जो market में brokers हैं, which I call as lone wolves, बहुत ज़्यादा हैं. And then the big guys are there, right? The big sharks, which is you guys are. So I definitely see there is a possibility of collaboration. Yes. But there are three models I see. एक जो broker network ने कोशिश की, जिसके अंदर केवल brokers को ही जोड़ रहे थे और शायद उनका कोई phase 2 होता वो करते. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of a halt on their journey. Then there is Square as a model, जिनके पास खुद की एक 7,000-8,000 लोगों की टीम है on ground, and parallelly they are attempting something into aggregation space as well. And then I see you guys who is trying to create the similar synergies here in this space. तो यहाँ पे तीन मॉडल हैं. एक मैं खुद अपनी टीम के साथ करूँ, एक है कि मैं केवल और केवल ब्रोकर एग्रीगेट करके अपना बिजनेस चलाऊं ट्रांजैक्शन का, और एक है हाइब्रिड. व्हाई हाइब्रिड? व्हाई नॉट जस्ट गो फॉर एन एग्रीगेटर मॉडल वेयर यू, आई बिलीव देयर कुड बी अ पॉसिबिलिटी जहाँ पे हमारे जो कैश फ्लोज हैं या जो हमारे जो ऑपरेशनल एक्सपेंसेस हैं शायद मिटिगेट हो सकते हैं. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक इज द राइट मॉडल इन दिस स्पेस एंड व्हाट इज इट दैट यू गाइस आर चेजिंग?
Sure. So I think you know, I'll have to give you a background how it all started. You know, so COVID का peak. कोई होप नहीं है कि कल क्या होने वाला है.
Absolutely, yes.
खिड़की के बाहर खड़े हो गए तो भी मर जाएंगे ऐसा लग रहा था. तो कहीं से वायरस ना आ जाए. So I'm talking about those days, right? So we had to sort of spend time and, you know, kill time, I would say, for those few weeks, I would say, just few weeks. And I remember, you know, fortunately I have few people I keep talking in the global proptech space and, you know, just trying to understand what's happening, how people are dealing with. And I had few learnings in those interactions. So I said, you know, why can't we share it with some other, you know, like, and so we called for a webinar and we had some brokers joining that webinar. And I spoke to them and I could see that whatever I was trying to share with them, it was impacting their confidence. That call started with a lot of hopelessness. And which was very obvious. And then, you know, as the call ended, I realized that they were feeling pretty confident. And they had some hope of saving the business. थोड़ा longish answer है. So
sure.
So and then, you know, I have dealt with quality brokers. You know, I have done 3 transactions in my lifetime of buying, selling, and so I can't see all three happening without a broker. Okay. So, and we are in a scenario wherein everybody thinks that brokers are not right people. They don't. And I know there are issues out there, and I also have faced service issues. But at the end of the day, you know, uh, I believe that world is improving, and so is this business, this profession, right? So that's where Magnet started.
Got it.
नो एग्रीगेशन इन माइंड, इसको ऐसे यूज कर लेते हैं, उसको वैसे यूज कर लेते हैं, ऐसा कर लेते हैं. कॉन्सेप्ट तब ऐसा नहीं था.
Got it.
तब भी बहुत लोग ये कर रहे थे. We never thought of it because it was not our DNA. But when I felt that, now sort of cut scene two, I would probably come to a point wherein I'll say that we knew how to probably build. I would not say we knew, but we were in a process of building a good quality broking business. The idea is, why can't we take this learning to people who want to build one, and that's how Magnet was born.
Got it.
So I would believe that Magnet will have a lot of stages ahead. The first stage is to start working together. So we co-broke, and we use this as a platform to give our learnings to them.
Got it.
And sort of take feeds from them. What's the problem at the ground?
Yeah.
And we all know India is an extremely dynamic market.
Yeah.
Changes every 5 miles. So it's very important that we create a loop through this platform. And we are having a fair bit of success with it so far.
Got it.
So as we progress, we would like them to understand that they can also become Homesfy.
Wow, lovely. So on this, I had other parallel question attached. US में ना 2 मॉडल्स चलते हैं. एक goes by the name of EXP Reality.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there is a other one which is called Keller Williams.
Yeah.
Okay. EXP Reality has a model which operates with the brokers, right? With these agents, and they give them the technology solutions. They don't do it themselves, right? Keller Williams at the other end is different, where they say that, hey, we will do it, we'll help you with certain things, franchisee model, we'll take a larger revenue share. But the models are different. Why? Because Keller Williams has its own teams as well, and then in different areas they have franchisees. EXP Reality at the other end is a very virtual setup, only based out of aggregator model.
Yeah.
So, typically, in terms of the balance sheets, if you really compare the kind of scalability EXP Reality got, because of just being an aggregator model, they have shown some pretty amazing numbers. While Keller Williams, there's a little bit of a debate with regards to what brokers ends up earning vis-a-vis what the company ends up earning. Now, this is also fueling a debate there, which is tech-driven agents versus agents-driven tech, right? Where Keller Williams is leveraging technology to drive more cash flows into the favor of agents, while EXP Reality is using agents to drive conversations and help them scale their technology. So there's a big debate going on. Which part do you believe India would land up at? Do you believe that there would be a possibility that there would be an aggregator platform जो केवल brokers के लिए ही बना है और उनको backend में support करेगा, right? Or the model currently, which maybe you're onto, which is Squareas is onto, would be the only future?
It's a very, very good question. I think, and I have to confess in this show that I will not have the answer of this, because it's such an evolving piece at this point of time. Again, a broken record comparison, China comparison, doesn't work. It's like, we have our own set of problems or challenges, or let's say, probably call it opportunities, and they are so not comparable with these examples also. And I truly believe in it.
Got it.
But at the same time, yes, India has taken leap in so many sectors, and that's what we love about India. We've seen it in fintech. We've seen it in retail. I come from a city called Karnal. Stores खुले ही नहीं, सीधा किराना स्टोर से सब ऑनलाइन पे चले गए. So हमने 10 साल रिटेल के देखे ही नहीं जो यूएस में देखे हैं. So probably proptech में भी यही होगा.
Absolutely.
जो हम केली विलियम्स या जो भी हम देख रहे हैं वो शायद हम देखेंगे ही नहीं इंडिया में, और हम कुछ और ही देखेंगे.
True.
Now, having said that, I believe that बहुत कम margins हैं. EXP, I was also looking at the numbers, and so obviously that business has its own sort of, at the end of the day, per transaction, you're probably not even 3 digits, in terms of what you make. as against a long tail of franchisee businesses. I would call them long tail, which are everywhere in each of these countries. So jury's still out, Govind, right? Still out, and I think we will take a leap. We may not see either of two, but something different happening in India, maybe.
Lovely. That's a great answer, and I believe we will see how it evolves. And 5 years down the line, we'll have this conversation again.
Yeah, sure.
So, this question is going to be purely about you, which is Homesfy को हम लोग जानते हैं based on what has been projected. But as a founder, there is a different kind of narrative that you have in your head. कि यार हम बना तो ये रहे, हमने प्रोजेक्ट ये किया है शायद और लोगों ने एब्जॉर्ब कुछ और किया है. तो मुझे आपसे जानना है कि यार होम्सफाई आपके दिमाग में क्या है, और उससे मुझे ये भी चाहिए कि आप हमारे व्यूअर्स को बताएं कि currently what are the things that you are really working upon, because I know you said fintech, there's a fintech piece that you are on to. We talked about the broker-aggregator model, which is Magnet. You are on to that as well. Is it something that we are missing? And when you are talking about these models, why it is existing currently, why you are working towards those?
Yeah. So I think the new term which should probably come out now, and it's TEBs, tech-enabled brokerages, right?
Yeah.
So I think I truly believe in strong franchise of building a tech-enabled brokerages, which means and what's the tech-enabled brokerage? It's a function of how you empower people, how you make sure that they are extremely serious about the customer service.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you create value for everybody in the piece, right? So I am right now not disillusioned in a way that probably we'll end up becoming Bakey of India or whatever, because I don't think it's very easy to create another Bakey anywhere in the world.
Right.
It can happen, but it's very different, right? So, but my point of view is that probably we will make sure that transaction is a play for us.
Yeah.
And then there's a DNA in the company, right? Every company has a DNA. We are extremely people oriented. We believe we are about them. I think I'm sort of working for them, and I believe a happy agent and a happy advisor is a function of a happy consumer.
Yeah.
That's the way. So I think that's the framework.
Got it.
And how we keep oiling it, empowering it, scaling it is sort of journey on the way, and that has to happen with some high, I would say, a good quality investment in technology, and like I said, right people at the same time. Yeah.
Got it. So, okay, now that we have spoken about this part where why you're doing what you're doing, I wanted to know from myself कि यार जो customers हैं या जो real estate developers हैं जिनके साथ हम काम कर रहे हैं, उनको बहुत easy होता है किसी को भी एक bracket में fit करने के लिए, right? क्या ना ठीक है ना, broker ही, right? My question to you is कि how are you trying to differentiate yourself with whoever that is there in this? So there's a Square which I quoted. There's Property Pistol in this particular space, which has been trying to create a certain market to themselves. There is a company like Investor Clinic, which is operating in a different kind of a model. But you are also there. I'm pretty sure the market is very huge. It's a huge opportunity. There will be many players.
Yes.
But then everybody will have their own USPs, at least in their heads, which they're trying to put forth. Maybe it shows up, maybe it doesn't. But what, according to you, is the largest USP that you are sitting upon and which you are trying to project?
I would say it's too early for me to probably, I can only tell that, we have seen that it's a combination of having, like I said, investing in technology at the right time, making sure that you empower people. I may sound repetitive, and like from the word go, the moment you can afford it, have a very, very, you should be mad about consumer experience. If you can connect these pieces as we grow, and it'll have its own challenges when we scale, right? So, but I think even, and coming back to your question again, like you just said, that it's a huge opportunity, right? We all understand that. It's I was just reading one data today in the morning, and what we call proptech is not even 3.5% of the service fees which the world generates. That's how the fragmented. It's not just the India. It's across in a way. So and And I've been able to, like I said, I've been able to follow some good tech-enabled brokerages globally, and I see they're doing good quality work.
Okay.
And I think as we go on, it's like it's a journey between what other factors will do to structure this market and what we can do. I think the both things have to travel at the same time.
Yeah.
So we have to do our bit to make sure that as much we can structure. So our initiatives around My Magnet and other areas is about, is there a small step we can also take in order to structure,
Got it.
and create more efficiency in the space. So I think pretty much what names you took all are doing great work, and
Yeah.
I so respect each one of them, because it's a difficult business to build, and I think still there is a lot more to be done. So I probably believe that such players can probably change the landscape of Indian proptech scene in next decade.
Super. And you spoke about international brokerages that you're following. Could you name one or two of them who are your favorite?
Oh yeah, so I think I definitely let's start in the same order. I definitely love the way Becky has the size of the execution is mind blowing. That's वही इसीलिए बोल रहा था कि वो वापस नहीं बनती दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे वापस नहीं बन सकती.
Right.
So probably the second would be, I think I love a couple of franchisees who are doing good business. Like ERA in Singapore is pretty neat. I've been observing they're doing good stuff. There is a very small brokerage out of Bangladesh called V Property, which is doing very amazing work.
Yes.
I like the way Loft has sort of progressed from property services to this kind of a model wherein they are working with agents and I think these are some of the there's a Pakistani broker called Zameen.com, which is very beautifully married the listing and the transaction piece, and scaled up pretty aggressively.
Wow.
So I think these are some of the I've taken names which are more close to us, right?
I understand. Yeah.
So that's it. Obviously there is some amazing amount of stuff which is happening in
US and the UK markets.
US and Europe market, but I think these are the players which definitely come to my mind. And close home also, I think everybody is doing great job of it. Like you took few names, and I'm a great fan of whatever is happening around me.
Super. So in this section only, one last question that I'm going to have on this section. अभी मैंने अलग तरीके से पूछा था, मैं दूसरे तरह से पूछ रहा हूँ. तो ब्रोकिंग बिजनेस में ना बहुत सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आई गेस जो है वो है बैरियर टू एंट्री नहीं है. कोई भी शुरू कर सकता है, राइट? तो मैंने आपसे पूछा कि इतने बड़े बड़े जो लोग काम कर रहे हैं उसमें आप भी एक खिलाड़ी हो और उसमें आपकी यूएसपी क्या है. अब I'm gonna ask you from a different side. इतने सारे लोग शुरुआत करते हैं, इतने सारे लोग कोशिश करते हैं, पर सब स्केल नहीं कर पाते. You have managed that. Not just that, you've gone much beyond. You have the numbers on your side. You have IPO'd and it has done pretty well. That shows that people believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Now, what are the 3 reasons? You cannot name like empowering people, right? Beyond that, you have to tell me 3 reasons you believe that you did and you survived. First thing, you survived, and of course you thrived. But let me just ask you why you survived, and that's where major of the people are actually failing today.
Yeah. So again, probably if you go top down, because see, it's difficult to cut short 7-8 year into 5 minutes answer, but I'll still try. I think it takes time to build good companies.
Right.
And we have still not started in a way. But
on this couch, every entrepreneur has come. They have had this common line.
Because
I respect that.
Because see, it's a vantage point, right? So for you, it's one way of looking at it. For us, I know that we're fortunate that we survived.
Yeah.
I would always say that it's so fortunate. Probably 1 million people don't get up every morning.
Yeah.
So with that thought in mind, as a business, maybe how many business may fail every day.
Yeah.
It's okay to and you have to be lucky, right, to survive, especially events which have happened in last decade. But at the same time, I think it takes time. Like I'll repeat that thing.
Yeah.
It takes time. It's your choice. It's are you building something which is a good quality business or there is a different agenda out there.
Right.
then I can't comment, right? So I think you need patience. I can't think of any quality business which gets happened like this. You have to give time to it. So I think that would have been one differentiator, that we were able to sort of, invest at right time, allocate our capital to right places at right time,
Right.
and at the same time, take calculated risk, because whenever you have you're a bootstrap company, you need to make sure that your capital is and your equity at both are the most expensive things which you are having. So you need to sort of use it wisely. So that's the first time we got diluted ourselves, right? So I think that's the way I would look at it. And we have also seen that sometimes we knew that this can change the landscape of, but we don't have money to invest in that piece, right? So you have to be a great student. You have to keep watching it and see to it that you wait for your time and then sort of invest in that particular technology or a particular functionality or whatever you want to call it, right? So I think we've been able to sort of do this bit well, but now obviously after we raise money, the expectations are different.
Absolutely.
And we are setting ourselves up for that. Let's hope for the best. Yeah.
So Ashish, thanks a lot for all these lovely insights that you have given. I personally have enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure when our audience is going to look at it, they're going to have amazing takeaways. Now, when I'm talking about takeaways, I'm going to ask you two important phenomena, which are the questions which are always running in my mind. Tanuj से जब मैंने interaction किया था ना, तो he spoke and where I learned something very interesting. I asked him कि यार typically Western markets में ना brokers का काम आता है secondary market में ज़्यादा. Why? Because वो difficult chase है. Customer को अपना घर बेचना, उनको या secondary home अगर खरीदना है, तो how do they buy it? Because the data is scarce. How do you approach them? How do you make the deal happen? All these things are difficult. But India का जो market है ना typically primary market है, right? He gave a very interesting response, which is कि इंडिया जब तक अर्बनाइजेशन की तरफ बढ़ता रहेगा और प्राइमरी में और से ज़्यादा प्रोजेक्ट्स आते रहेंगे, हमारा कंजम्पशन प्राइमरी ही ज़्यादा रहेगा. एंड his bet was it is going to take 10 to 15 years before we shift to the secondary side. ये जो secondary market है उसका unit economics कितना difficult है, and do you guys deal in this segment or you plan to deal in this segment? What is the inflection point you believe जहाँ पे आपको लगता है कि यार ये मार्केट में अपॉर्चुनिटी बढ़ जाएगी और हमें वहाँ पे प्रेजेंट होना जरूरी है, right? Today Zapkey or Home Exchange are two companies which are focusing on this market very exclusively.
Yeah.
What is your plan?
No, I think as you learn transaction business, you want to go ahead and use your learnings, and goes without saying that your natural progression is towards the second sale. And I don't think that I don't believe that it should take for the leading players that much time to go to the secondary space, and we plan to probably go much earlier than I think the reason being that, like I said, if you're the basic premise of how you service your consumer and how do you sort of make sure that your agents are equipped, then I think it's matter of time. Yes, it does sort of take more time, and that's the reason that you are not able to sort of fix that in your model, but I think as we are progressing and as you just probably the way, like I said, the leap bit, right? So the way even consumers are sort of digitizing their search and the experience, and even the agents are ready to accept. An agent who you deal with, not your internal agent, is ready to accept sort of the value chain as we progress. So I think the things are becoming pretty faster that way. So I think we are very keen, and we are already working on some bit.
Super. And I'm sure with the whole broker aggregator platform that you are running right now, tomorrow you can leverage it as well. So the next questions, two of them, I have very technical questions. And this is for specifically the realtors who will be watching this episode, जो brokers जो आज business शुरू कर रहे हैं, right? काफी brokers के साथ जब मैंने engage किया है तो उनका सबसे पहला question होता है कि how do you know I'm ready? If I have parked 10 lakh rupees, let's say, is it enough? और अगर मैंने 10 लाख रुपए पार्क किए हैं, तो मैं उसको कैसे यूटिलाइज करूँ कि मैं एक रोलिंग बिजनेस या एक कैश फ्लो ड्रिवन बिजनेस बना के सस्टेन कर सकूँ? एंड कौन से ऐसे पॉइंट्स हैं जो रेड फ्लैग्स हैं कि अगर हम ये कर रहे हैं तो मे बी शायद वी आर नॉट ऑन टू द राइट ट्रैक. सो व्हाट इज द सजेशन दैट यू विल गिव टू एन अपकमिंग रियल्टर who's looking at starting a journey into the brokering space, and what are the things that they have to, what is the checklist that they should carry?
So I think, like I said, it takes time to build good business, good franchise, whatever you may want to call it, So I think, you don't need 10 lakhs or 25 lakhs. You need a good platform to begin with.
Okay.
That's very, very important.
And what do you mean by platform?
So any brokerage who is ready to make you, learn this business, is a good platform. I would say that if you are keen, probably you can be part of Magnet or any such platform. Now, the point here is that, most of the times people think, which may be somewhat true, but not, I don't believe in it, that this is an easy profession to get into, and it's quick to make money and stuff like that. But I think the ones who are doing well, not in just India but anywhere else, are the ones who are great student of the game, and they're not seeing it as they are, because the amount of money which you can make in this is huge only when you approach it this way. So you have to give yourself some time, you have to give yourself some learning, and once you have, so probably that 10 lakh you should make by yourself rather than probably taking it from your folks or somewhere else, So I think that's the best way to go about it. And a very well-timed question. I think as the Indian markets are looking to get structured, looking to get digitized, and the capital has now finally started coming in. And I think probably this is the right time for some of the serious players or serious individuals to, get into this business, I would say.
Okay. So the next question is in connection with it. So right now you answered from a point of view of lone wolves, let's say, right? जो सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन है जो हम लोग ब्रोकर्स के साथ जब एंगेज करते हैं तो हमें जो समझ में आया वो ये है उनका कन्फ्लिक्ट कि शुड वी, जो थोड़े से बड़े हो गए, लेट्स टॉक अबाउट पीपल हु आर ऑलरेडी हैविंग अ 20 मेंबर टीम, राइट? तो उनका सबसे बड़ा कन्फ्लिक्ट होता है कि यार जब वो लीड जनरेशन कर रहे हैं या एक आउटरीच कर रहे हैं तो शुड दे ब्रांड देमसेल्फ, और एक प्रोसेस चल रहा है प्राइमरी मार्केट के लिए विच इज कैनिबलिज्म, कि लोधा का एक प्रोजेक्ट आया तो उनका अपने फेसबुक पेज बना दिया और आप लिख रहे हो कि हम एक डेवलपर ही हैं, हमने कॉल भी जब किया तो हम कस्टमर को ही बोलते हैं कि हम एक डेवलपर हैं, एंड कस्टमर जब साइट पे आता है तो उसको बताया नहीं जाता कि ब्रोकर है, राइट? समटाइम्स दे नेवर गेट टू नो, समटाइम्स दे गेट टू नो, but this is one wave which is going on with the mid-sized companies where they are literally confused कि हम अपने ब्रांड के नाम पर लीड जनरेशन करके कस्टमर को बोले कि आओ, तो प्राइमरी में शायद उनको चैलेंज लगता है कि हमारा स्ट्राइक रेट खराब हो जाता है, बिकॉज द वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन टू द कस्टमर इज व्हाट, राइट? सो this is a conflict that has come. How do you believe that, in current time, if it have been there, or the new set of brokers who are stuck at that phase where they are conflicted, what is the advice you will give to them?
So I think as soon as possible, they should probably, like I said, they should try to work on those differentiators, which is very important. That's where because it's a highly competitive market, and that's where you can stand out in the market, and which is when you are able to position yourself as a brand or as an entity. While it's a paradox, the reason being that brokers are ready, markets are ready, maybe consumers are not ready right now. There's still this belief that brokers are not, even today probably most of I would believe that 50-60 consumers think that they will have to pay for a transaction on a primary side. A very, very well-read guy I was talking to yesterday was not sure about it, and so I think that way this is where probably we believe that more and more the regulator coming in and giving the last few events which are there in terms of the exams and trainings and also having to report the transactions, they will greatly impact if they are implemented well. That's what the sector needs. So I think and that's where probably you will be able to differentiate yourself basis how good are you on your locality, how good are you with your people, how good are you with your customer service even beyond the transaction has happened,
right?
And so on and so forth, and we can go on and on, right?
Absolutely.
And that's where so many proptechs can come and enable this whole business, right? And so I think probably if you're a 20-member team and you're serious about this business, it's just the right time for you to start working as an entity rather than being a sort of a backstage one. Yeah.
Oh, that was helpful. Now, the last section of our engagement today, it's going to be about two topics, funding and technology. Okay. So, I have always repeated to most of the entrepreneurs who have come here, that funding in proptech space for India has still been a little bit of a difficult ride. Sexy space nahi hai for the investors because it takes time to get the returns maybe. But my question to you is, how would you define your journey? Did you try before doing the IPO that let's go and try to raise money with the VC? If you did, what really happened? What were the realizations?
So I think it's a very classic case here that I believe some of the smart guys have also missed it in a way, that who could sort of back these sectors, and if they are true, I think this sector required operational VCs, ones who really get into business and get it right, not the ones who are the traders out there. So because this sector was wanting those kind of VCs, right? And if some of them would have got it right, they would have definitely made money because there was not too much of competition. They could have got the equity at a right price. I think they missed the bus. I think very classic case. I have not come across any other sector. And I used to always wonder, I understand that there is the scalability bit and all that, but I think I used to still believe, they're getting something wrong. They're missing a point here. And I was biased, so it's very difficult to say, right? Because you are in the sector and you believe.
Yeah.
But now I think it's coming true because I can see that they have missed the bus, and now they are getting into anything which is coming their way in the name of proptech.
Got it.
So that's about it, I think. But at the same time, for us, it's when you build business with your profits and you bootstrap it, you sort of go past that piece where you want to now value the quality of the capital.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the VC bit would have not been the quality, but when I say quality, we wanted to we wanted to back by capital which understands that this sector will take some time, and this sector is about I think there is an impact ahead what some players like us can bring in.
Absolutely.
And I truly believe in it. It's not about just doing this structured service business. It's about really creating an impact on the way transactions are done. I'm only talking about transactions with you for this discussion, right? So there is a lot more which is done in the discovery. There's a lot more which is done after the transaction. But I think just the way transaction is done, there's lot of good quality stuff which still has to happen. So I think that's the reason we went ahead and we took this call that this is a money which will stay with us, and we never wanted that pressure ki itne time mein, I remember. So I remember that हमने जो पहला angel we did manage one or two angels initially, and something come up from housing, some feature, and they say यार आप ऐसा क्यों नहीं बना रहे हो, do something like this. And it was difficult for them to explain कि at that point of time that's not what we are doing. We were in transactions at that point of time.
True.
So my point is that they may not the kind of money you need is as that they are also equally excited about what solutions this sector need, and like that. So
and they got to have the patience to understand as well.
Understand this.
One of the largest thing that I understood after interacting with everybody, that the overall understanding of this landscape, how the number of engines are working together in a tandem, and then creating a synergy and then delivering results. It's a little complicated, and because of that, people are staying away. They don't want to go too deep and try to understand. Right? So connected to this, I had a question, which is on the technology side, since you spoke about it. Right now, wherever that you are, what are the future technologies that you believe that you're going to be bullish about? Like you're keeping a tab upon it, and you believe कि इस पे कुछ तो करना है यार.
Yeah.
और अगर खुद नहीं कर सकते तो शायद collaborate करेंगे.
Yeah.
Right? Why am I asking this question? Anybody who's operating in those spaces which you quote, maybe if they end up reaching out to you, so this engagement का जो ROI है, that will be very good.
Yeah.
So what are the areas which you are looking at कि यार इसमें कोई कर रहा होगा, so I'll be looking forward to collaborate with them.
I think thanks for asking this question, and I think I'll probably go top down. For example, anything which has to do with the agent productivity is something which we are always wanting to work on, look at, which can sort of make them more and more, like I said, it sort of helps them to do their work better. And at the same time, if you go on the other stakeholder, which is the consumer, if we can sort of enable in a way that they are far more informed about their decision while they are dealing with us. So I think the another bit is, how do we really give good information to the consumer? There's a lot of discovery which happens. I'm not going there that how property portals can really make sure that they are, but I think still it's such a right for a consumer when they're looking to buy property, for sure.
Sure.
And so I think in that situation, whatever is enabling us to giving them the right information at the right time is something we would like to look into, invest into, and we keep doing those debates internally. And like I said, if we are able to do anything right, we would like to extend that solution to the brokerage community at large. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. So I think probably any solution in these two directions is something which we will invest in or we can look at.
And do you have any plans in the future to create an ecosystem of your own where the backward or forward integrations को भी आप डालोगे अपने offerings में? ऐसा आपके दिमाग में है, or you gonna give it time?
I think we'll give it a time. For example, for us, I think the transaction piece, if that gets done in a way that that gives us that feeling that we are able to give somewhat structure to the whole experience. That's what we really want to invest our effort, our time, our capital. The moment we are sort of done with that piece and we believe that we are not able to do this right because there is a missing link, and see, globally we understand that most of these brokerages are wanting to become portals, and what of the portals are wanting to become brokerages, right?
Right.
They just want to get the pie out of the transactions who are doing good in terms of the discovery piece, and most of the brokerages are now understanding that as a tech-enabled brokerages, there should be a discovery platform as well. I think it's an interesting debate, but I still believe that for us, we are not going to fight that battle.
Got it.
We're going to make sure that even if we are not in discovery, we should be doing very good job of transactions.
Lovely. And considering we are talking about funding and technology, एक बहुत important question है. अगर मैं नहीं पूछूंगा, तो I believe ये जो expectation है लोगों का इस episode से, I will not be fulfilling that expectation, and that is कि अगर किसी भी brokerage को, since you already have this experience, कि उनको अगर IPO करना है, तो what are 3 things जो उनको दिमाग में रखना होगा before doing the IPO?
So one, don't do it for tomorrow. Do it for at least for decades.
Okay.
Even doesn't matter how much you're raising it. What matters is that you need to do it for decades. You probably need to understand that you are public. So unless you're not ready to open up,
don't do it.
Don't do it. And I think you need to be super sure about your capital allocation, because you asked 3 things. I think I can tell 10, but I think because you're borrowing someone's money, your allocation strategy needs to be neat. And you have to stick to it. I think these are 3 things which I somehow believe that you should be ready to let go, because as a promoters, as founders, we have always been very close to what we have created, but at the same time, now you're going to be sharing your home, your family, or whatever you want to call it, with others. So you have to be you know, you have to be really conscious of it, you know, and
Yeah.
I think these are core things which should be there in your mind because of the event of IPO. Yeah.
Got it. So one more question connected to this. Uh, आपने जब IPO का प्लानिंग किया तो do you have to plan in advance कि यार ये financial institutions के पास जाके हम बात करें कि जब भी हमारा IPO आता है तो they have to subscribe, right? Because there's a retail subscription, then there's an institutional subscription. Do you have to plan all that in advance कि यार
No, not really, because it's a we got listed in NSE Merge, which is for MSME. You know,
Yeah.
so most of the bigger institutions are not very active in that space. Now they are getting
Yeah.
into that space, and we have seen a lot of institutions talking to us, and you know, yeah, I may not be able to probably share more
Fair.
details, but I believe that yes, they're taking this space very seriously, and I'm myself a true believer of MSME and SME space in this country. You know, I somehow believe that's one completely blue ocean out there for investors,
got it.
and pretty much similar to what we discussed about proptech. You know, that's, we're just missing that the
Yeah.
whole piece. You know, so I think that way the amount of interest we saw was huge. You know, we got heavily subscribed,
Yeah.
and you know, we got a very good response after listing, which clearly shows that, you know, if you have a right you know, right model, and like if dots are getting connected, if maths is right, then there is enough quality capital chasing good quality companies.
Super. I believe that was quite insightful. And anybody who's trying to raise money, हम लोग ये जल्दी नहीं सोचते हैं, but he has proven that going for an IPO could be a route, and it comes with its own perks as well. You know, the downsides are definitely going to be there being a
Yes.
public listed company, but there's upside as well, and we have to look at it. Now, coming to the last section, and this is where we have our two signature questions, and I'm gonna throw those questions right at you. Number one, you have to name two proptech startup companies from India who you are admiring or you are passionately following or you love, either of it. जिनमें आपको लग रहा है यार कुछ तो दम है या कुछ तो सही प्रॉब्लम ये लोग सॉल्व कर रहे हैं. इट इज नॉट अबाउट बिजनेस वो सही है गलत है, बट यू फील बिलीव दैट दे आर गुड पीपल solving the right problem, and I got to keep a tab on it.
So interesting, you know. I think I somehow respect all the companies in this space. You know, somehow that's I come from that mindset. I've
Yeah.
not, you know, if I'm tracking it, then I'm sure that there is something which they are doing exciting. You know, whether it is about team or the problem they're solving. So I think, but you know, many of them. I think I've recently met Akhil Riloy. I think doing good stuff. You know, I think CRE Metrics is also trying to solve a very, you know, basic problem, but which is a big problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think, and even people who are in the tech-enabled brokerage space, you know, you took few
Absolutely.
names, Square Yards, everybody. I think, you know, I believe that, like I said, you know, when you are in that game, you're playing that game. You understand, you know, what it takes to play that game, right? So
Yeah.
you're not audience. So then you start respecting, you know, there's this respect comes from for those players. So I think most of the ones which I know are survived and have done well and are trying to create something different I think there's very, very brilliant opportunity out there, and some of them are doing good job.
No, great. So CRE Metrics has already been on this show. Riloy Akhil is supposed to come down, so I'm glad that the viewers will get to know why you have quoted their name. So my next question for you is a signature question of this series, and that is, अगर Homesfy एक आदमी है and उसको सब कुछ करना है जो Homesfy as a company को करना है, पर you have to take us through his day. कि आज वो सुबह उठा, उसके बाद वो क्या क्या करेगा टू मेक श्योर कि जो आपका जो विजन है ना Homesfy का, उसके टुवर्ड्स ही वो काम कर रहा है. वो ऐसा नहीं कि वो एक काम लिया और उसने करके दिन खत्म कर दिया. He has to do it all. So, like, how many people do you have in your company right now?
400.
400. So it's 400 people is being represented by one.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, it's a very interesting question. So I think this company works with a lot of measurements, you know, so habits, I would say.
Okay.
So you know, एक अच्छे इंसान की हैबिट्स क्या है? सुबह टाइम से उठता है, वर्कआउट करता है, फिर टाइम से अच्छा हेल्दी फूड खाता है.
Right.
So I think as an organization we would like to stick to those habits,
Right.
good habits,
Right.
and at the same time, and it's this person is very family person, very friendly person. So so it's like I said, it's a people oriented culture, and I've also observed that, Govind, in your organization, I know how connected your teams are, and so again ये आदमी सबका ध्यान रखता है,
Okay.
सबका. So and I think on the way जब ये habits कर रहा होता है और देखता है कि रिजल्ट नहीं आ रहा है,
Yeah.
तो हैबिट्स को रीलुक करता है,
Okay.
उनको नेक्स्ट लेवल पे लेके जाता है,
Okay.
और कोशिश करता है कि सामने रिजल्ट्स भी मेजर होते
Measure.
हैं. हाँ.
The output metrics is very important.
मतलब वो हैबिट ड्रिवन इंसान है और रिजल्ट ड्रिवन इंसान है जो चलता जा रहा है और सीखता जा रहा है.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So since you talked about this measurements, right? तो उसी से एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है मेरा जो मैं आपसे पूछूंगा, वो है यूनिट इकोनॉमिक्स से रिलेटेड. तो पहला तो ये कि आप लोग के आउटपुट मैट्रिक्स में कौन से KPIs आप लोग ट्रेस करते हैं, एंड सपोज आपने 100 रुपए कमाया, तो राइट, कैन यू टेक अस थ्रू अ जर्नी कि यार 100 रुपए में क्या इनपुट कॉस्ट जा रहे हैं और फिर कितना आपको मार्जिन बनता है?
Okay, I may not be able to give you specific numbers, but
Fair,
give you a
fair.
framework.
Just a broader
Yeah. So I think in terms of output metrics, obviously, like I said, it's a productivity, which is a very core side of the business, and everything around agents and advisors is what is measured.
Yeah.
So from the time you take to call the consumer,
Yeah.
to probably how many leads you take to sort of create opportunity out of it, and then how many visits you generate out of it, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
To a point that what kind of ratings consumers are giving to you even post your visits and your post booking. So all these KPIs talk to each other.
Got it.
And and that's how we believe that these are the measurements we have.
Yeah.
And everybody is close to that
Okay.
piece. Even if you're I will be a little dramatic to say that, but even if you're an office boy, you will be somewhere connected to the KPI.
Okay.
I know it sounds very dramatic, but I know
Yeah.
in back of my mind that there is a one KPI which is connected with how well he does his job.
Wow.
So I think that's the way probably I would say. And in terms of the unit bit, I would say that pretty standard. I think most of the people who follow this sector would understand that we end up spending around 35% on our on our customer acquisition cost, and another 20 to 30% on our people, in terms of these are where our gross margins lie, and then there's another fixed cost 15 to 20%. So yeah, I think at a gross level these businesses operate at 30-40% kind of a margin.
Wow.
And as we that's about it.
So that's a great insight. And absolutely. And I'm wishing you see, the thing is, I'm pretty sure now that you have IPO'd, the customers who are going to work with you, they're going to have a larger understanding of what you're doing. The recall of the name would also help you generate some organic play.
Yes.
And eventually the profitability lies into getting your customer acquisition cost under control.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure one thing that you might have not spoken, but I see, maybe I may be wrong, but you can validate it, कि IPO करने की वजह से जो कस्टमर का भी जो आपके तरफ जो अट्रैक्शन है या जो एंगेजमेंट होगा या जो वर्ड ऑफ माउथ होगा, वो भी बहुत ज्यादा लेवल पे इंप्रूव होगा, एंड दैट इज वेयर once the customer acquisition cost comes down, I believe this play has a huge potential in terms of the margins that we can play with. So with that, Ashish, thanks a ton for being so awesome and being so candid about everything. Sure. And I'm very glad that you could talk about some bit, and there are a lot of learnings I'm pretty sure I'm taking along with me that you will see into the introduction that I shoot always later. And for all of you, the wonderful people, for watching this video, thanks a ton. Keep making sure that you comment, and if you have any question for Ashish, please write it down in the comment section.
One day I want to take your interview.
I would love to give it. I would love to give it. And comments up जो भी करेंगे उसमें अगर questions होंगे तो I will ask him, and I'll make sure that I personally respond to you into the comment sections with the response that he gives.
But let me also add to probably everybody who's watching this. Govind is one of the most energetic guy I've ever met in my life. I say this for few people that अगर दुनिया में ऐसे लोग हो जाएंगे तो एनर्जी क्राइसिस खत्म हो जाएगा. So yeah, keep the energy on. I've always seen that rub off on me, and yeah.
Well, thanks a ton for wonderful words, and to all the wonderful viewers, thanks a lot for watching this episode. We'll meet you on the next Wednesday with our next entrepreneur who's working to solve a problem into the proptech arena. Thank you, guys.